Hi guys, hello. Welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Paula. We come to you every week bringing you important information on things that are current, pertinent, very applicable, information that you will benefit from. Today we are talking about teleworking, working from offsite. Now, during this pandemic, teleworking has actually become a necessity. In the past, many employers did not particularly trust employees working from home. I believe they did not think employees were going to be as productive as if they were on site. Employees were not right there where they could be asked to do something, you know, right away. Employees were not there, so colleagues or employers would not be able to monitor their activities, and so employees were not trusted. Let's just put it that way. You didn't trust your employee to work from home. But now many employers have actually discovered that working from home can be so much more productive. At least you do not have all the distractions when you're in the house. You don't have all the colleagues coming to your cubicle or your office, you know, gossiping many of the times. You don't have, as many distracting telephone calls, trips to the restroom, which may be, several yards away. And so working in the house allows you to focus a little more, and it cuts off all the distractions that you have on the job. Now, many employees were not ready to telework. Number one, some felt they felt out of the picture. I'm not on site. I'm out of sight. I'm out of mind. Okay, many thought they probably would be passed over for promotions, or if there was an opportunity that needed to be fulfilled like right away, that they would be passed over for that. But that is not necessarily true. There may be some truth in it, but not necessarily true. First of all, before you begin teleworking, you must prepare yourself mentally. You know you are about to embark on a journey that is very different from when you are at your facility. You may have family members in the house, especially now during the pandemic, you have children in the house. There are children who are at home away from school, and the parents not only have to work, but they also have to school the children. And so it can be very challenging. So you want to make sure that you are preparing yourself mentally on what you are about to begin, the journey you're about to embark on. The other thing you have to do is you must identify somewhere in your home that is very appropriate for focusing on your task, away from the distractions of the house, away from other family members, away from the kids, the husbands, away from the television, and perhaps the house phone that may be ringing every 10 seconds. You want to make sure that, you know, you schedule your day. You determine at what point I'm going to take my break, at what point am I going to have lunch. So you must have a schedule together. When you get up in the morning to prepare for your work day, you almost want to simulate the exact activity you did when you were going out to work. So you want to try to be up almost the same time that you woke up when you had to commute to work. You want to make sure that you are preparing your children stuff. You don't allow your kids to remain in bed until 11 or 12. You want to make sure that you are also setting them on a routine. So once the day starts, it starts for everybody, especially if they're being homeschooled. Everyone must have a set schedule. This is the time we are going to be up. This is the time we have breakfast, and work begins and school activity begins. So you want to make sure that you have a good structure. Okay. The other thing is Just because you are working from home does not mean you have to work with your pajamas. Personally, I think that actually that's very unhealthy. You should not jump out of your bed to your computer to begin your workday. I think it's very healthy to get up, to have your bath, of course, to put on something decent. You may not necessarily put on a suit or tie, but you want to put on something that is decent, especially if during the day you are to make Zoom calls and where other colleagues are going to be, looking at you. You want to make sure that you are looking decent. Put on some makeup. It's very healthy. It makes you feel like you're going to work. Okay. So once you plan your schedule for the day and you take your break time, now most people don't realize that when you work from home, you're actually working more than if you were at your job. You're pretty much sitting at this computer for the entire shift, pretty much. Okay. Yes, you do take breaks, and yes, you do, take lunch. But then, depending on what, remote control access that you're using, sometimes you can have a lot of difficulties if you shut it off. And so you're pretty much sitting at the computer almost for the entire shift. And then, of course, because of the lack of distractions, you are very productive. You're focusing on what you need to do because you already had your schedule planned. One thing you must remember is when you are working from home, you need to take frequent stops and do a little activity, stretch, or perhaps go outside, have some fresh air, or just sit on the porch for a few minutes, have a fruit, and come back in. I make sure that during my break time that I'm walking up and down the hallway. Okay, I walk and brisk walking for 20 minutes. 15 minutes if it's at lunchtime, maybe 20 minutes, but I walk. I try to walk, and many times actually I actually work in my sneakers. So I just get up and I start walking. Okay? Sometimes, for me personally, I love to work with sound, some music, some low music. I feel I work better with music. So I may have a little transistor radio sitting, on the side and just listen, easy listening music while I work. Okay. And so make sure that you are letting your family members know, that I have meeting at 10 or I have a Zoom call at this time. And you want to make sure that, no one is distracting you when you are on your Zoom call. I mean, you try your best, okay? Sometimes you have small kids and you really can't help it. Or you may have dogs and you really can't help the dog from coming in, but I guess you can put the dog away somewhere. But if you are having a Zoom call, a conference call, you want to make sure that you're presentable, you're looking good, as if you are at the job, and you are cutting off as many distractions as possible. Okay, so ground rules, make sure you have, appropriate place. And I didn't say make sure you have, enough internet speed. Make sure you have, if you can, many people use Wi-Fi. I personally like to use an Ethernet cable because I don't have to connect to Wi-Fi. I go directly to my modem and I connect. Make sure you have, whatever you need, whatever equipment you need, that it's available, that your connection is fine, you have enough speed, like I said, that you're not having frequent Wi-Fi disconnections. And you have to be ready because being at home is very, very different from being on the job. Okay, on the job, you have all the equipment available, you have IT right there, who will probably attend to you promptly. And especially now when it's not as easy to access IT. I mean, they will come back to you, but there's so many people who are working remotely with problems that it may take a little time before they get back to you. You must be very good stewards of your time. Just because you are away from the job does not mean while you are working, you're doing all this cooking and you're doing all this laundry. I for sure cook and I freeze and I get up and throw it in the microwave and eat. And that's about it. So, in order to have a very, very successful telework session for as long as it lasts, you want to make sure that you are being really good stewards of your time, of your employer's time, and you have a planned schedule and you're prepared mentally, and that you and your family are working in tandem to make sure that everyone is successful, whether it's the kids who are being schooled at home or you who are working at home. So enjoy your telework, guys. We hope, at one point we'll be able to return to our jobs, to our works, to the site, and we are hoping that everyone is being successful. And you want to network with other people who are teleworking, and let them, introduce you to little strategies that they use to make things a little easier. So have a good telework, be productive, and give this video a thumbs up if you think that was beneficial, the information was useful, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, and happy teleworking, guys. Bye. See you next time.